How influential then was the Warped Tour?
Oh, it's everything. I don't think the band would have flourished to the degree that they did without it. Like, it was instrumental in establishing the band in the US, and we were fortunate that they were able to do it in full 3 times, but they also played it. We did a one-off show once at a Warped Tour date. I think it was 3 full Warped Tours. Yeah, 3. But it was just incredible, and we based album campaigns around it. We released Life's Nuts to Get You off the back of a Warped Tour. We released Peace in the Panic off the back of a Warped Tour. You know, like literally the band walking around Warped Tour with lanyards with pre-order codes on it, selling them for $5, like Camden Market sellers. Like, and that really, you know, and then walking around with the stage signs and stuff, you know. The environment of Warped Tour is not something I have seen anywhere else. There is an opportunity there to establish yourself as an artist. If you grind it, there's a way to work Warped Tour. There was a way to work Warped Tour, where you could really make daily multiple connections, and people are out there looking for their next favorite band, and you can just go, I'm your new favorite band. And the band were incredible at it. They were really good at doing that. They worked really, really hard. Neck Deep is, I mean, you know, we haven't worked together now for coming on 4 years, but they were one of the hardest working bands like that I've ever worked with. Like, they grind.
How much of a loss for the scene then do you think that losing Warped Tour is?
For incubating new artists, it's colossal. It's really, like, it is missing. You know, and this is not speaking, you know, I can't speak to the sort of negative aspect of the culture that came, you know, there are parts of that culture that were unhealthy and are best expelled and expunged from our scene, as has, you know, been widely discussed, especially in the last few years. But just speaking plainly as a tour that provided an incubation and experience, like, they call it punk rock summer camp. I know that's like a trope, but like, it truly is, like, it is a summer camp where you go in, you can go in bad at touring and you can come out good at touring. You can go in bad at marketing and playing live and come out good at it. It's like a summer college that will just train you in, like, it is a trial by fire of, like, can you still be good playing at 11 a.m. to, like, a few disinterested people, and can you attract people? Can you create a buzz? Because at Warped Tour you could create ripples that, like, you could become like a must-see artist. You could start the tour out being like, who's this? Yeah. And by the end of the tour, you're, like, playing to, you know, I did Warped Tour in full in 2017 with I had Creeper and Neck Deep on the tour. I did it in full, and one of the bands on Creeper's stage was Not Loose, and I saw them become the hottest band in the world on Warped Tour. It was literally like happening in front of us. Like, every day it was like, this band is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger as you move from state to state to state. I mean, it's just, there's nothing like it. Like, you play for half an hour, but you have a whole day of, like, marketing and there was kind of almost like it was its own ecosystem. Yeah. And it's a tour that just, it's like a circus. It goes from place to place to place. All the stage managers, all the vendors, all the bands, all the tour crew, everyone just goes from place to place. So you can forge these incredibly strong relationships in that environment that can then go on to be the artists that you tour with, or that you're friends with, or that become part of your network as an artist forever. Like, I know that Knocked Loose and Movements are really close bands. That happened in front of me on Warped Tour. Like, that relationship was forged there. Boston Manor and Trophy Eyes, who are touring together in the UK this month, they met on that Warped Tour, and their friendships were formed on that. Like, I have just had the band Soft Cult feature on a track with Split Chain, my new artist. Soft Cult were on that Warped Tour. They were called Courage My Love, but I met them on that, and I stayed in touch with them ever since. And you know, these kind of like direct like industry bands, all in a incubator together for 35 days, going through like every state, every weather condition you could possibly imagine, like colossal rainstorms and 45-degree heat that melts the tarmacs of an airport. Like literally something that happened. Like you go through this shit, and by the end of it, it kind of puts, you know, it feel like you almost like earn a badge.
Yeah.
You have completed Warped Tour. You know, and for all the things that might have been wrong with it, and that you know, that aside, just as a thing that helped bands earn their stripes, I think it has yet to be, that space has yet to be replaced, that vacuum has yet to be replaced. What you cannot replace is the experience of band on stage, person in crowd, direct interaction with the fan, where you're playing your music and they're watching the music, and then they can come and speak to you at your merchandise stall and take photos with you and understand a bit more about who you are and buy in to your culture as a band. And you could go to Warped Tour and come out of it with like, oh, that's my new favourite band now. I just got a complete like 101 in who that band is, because I got to see them live, I got to buy their shirt, I got to meet them, I got to do X, Y, and Z.
It's a different experience for the customer as well in Warped Tour, because I mean, I went once. I did San Diego, and
That's a good one.
it was really cool. We went as like a family holiday when it was announced that it wasn't going to happen again. We were like booking next
Oh, you
year.
went to the last one?
Yeah, was it like? I think it was like the last full tour that we went to.
Yeah, As It Is, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I was there.
Yeah, I think we actually watched those twice.
Yeah.
So
As It Is and Don Broco, we were on the stage with Don Broco.
definitely watched them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I was at the couple of California dates.
Right.
Been at the same one.
Yeah. So I mean, the San Diego one was awesome, and then we did like a little family trip, and we drove to Denver. But comparing that to like other festivals, I guess because they're set up beforehand, feels more like a substantial thing, and you're more disconnected from the band and the management and everything that's going on. Warped Tour just felt scrappy. Like you were there, and it's going up in the morning, it's going down on the evening. Like it felt way, like not less professional in like a negative sense, in a just sort of like you're part of something. Yeah, like it's coming up around you and you're watching it, and
and
it
it's
felt
like
more raw.
It's like, here is your community. And like, if you're someone who's just getting into alternative music, it shows you like the breadth of it, because Kevin had hardcore bands playing it and metalcore bands playing it, and he had pop punk bands playing it, singer-songwriters, he had YouTubers doing meet and greets, he had XYZ, and Katy Perry fucking played Warped Tour, you know, Paramore played Warped Tour, Glassjaw played Warped Tour, like most of your favourite bands like went through it, like, and you could just see everything. Like you could see a slice of everything that was from this culture, and then you could go through a market, an open market, where it was like Hopeless Records, Fearless Records, Epitaph, you know, everyone was kind of represented. And then like non-profits, and you could just learn. It was like a crash course in like, this is what the alternative music scene has to offer you. Here you go. Do you want to be a part of it? Yeah, cool. This is what it's like, you know. And that's just, I don't know, there's an excitement to it, like you say, scrappiness. It feels like something that's very inclusive for a fan, you know. I think I know there were various issues with, you know, with it in other senses, but as a kind of foundation, I think there was something really special about it. You know, I've certainly not. I've been working in music now nearly 20 years. I've not seen anything else like it. I don't think it's the best thing in the entire world, but it is irreplaceable. And what it can do, and what it did do for multiple bands, not just ones that I worked with. I saw it. You know, certainly I think Neck Deep and As It Is would both say like it was amazing. Creeper had a harder time on it, you know, but they're a different sort of band.
Yeah.
You know, and I think Warped Tour helped them realise that they were a different sort of a band.
Yeah.
And, you know, so you could kind of find out a lot about yourself on that tour.